力强。
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Mando Huddle. We are your hosts. I am the often imitated, never duplicated Cowboy DeLorean. And with me, as always, is my co host.
Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? The one, the only, the Jedalorian. What's up?
Yes, sir, Jet. So, a lot of things have kind of changed since, the draft. Some rookie free agents have been signed. Some cuts have been made. Um, and also some feelings have changed based on how the draft has went since it actually occurred. But, before we actually get into that, one thing I do want to say is that right now this show is actually being sponsored by Vulgar Stickers. If you like to get stickers for your own super fan, or, you just want some for kids or anything like that, go check them out. They have really good quality. And right now, if you actually go to this website, and put in Cowboy Lorian 50, you can actually get 50% off your current order. So, that is really an awesome thing to actually have, guys. So, Jet, you kind of had a little bit of almost 2 weeks to spew over, your draft. How do you feel about your draft?
Well, I'm happy with the draft. I think that the Jets, for the first time in a long time, drafted in filling holes that they felt were still open instead of drafting guys or one guy to be the star. They don't need that anymore. They're trying to just build a team, and I liked it. I really like the running backs that we got. That running back room has become something that's going to be strong in the long run. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the way the Jets drafted and how they attack free agency as well. What about you, Cowboy Lorian? How do you feel? I mean, I know that the Cowboys didn't do too much, but they also don't have too far to go either. They're a good team.
Um, you know, as far as the some of the draft picks, I've actually, kind of liked some of the draft picks a little bit more. A few of them, as far as that goes. Our seventh round pick, Justin Rogers. I'm kind of hoping that he's going to be kind of a Jay Ratliff type. Someone who just disrupts. Kind of in there. You never know what he can bring. So hopefully that actually transpires into something. Being that both were from Auburn, and both were seven round picks, late seventh round picks. There's some correlation there, but you know, we'll see what happens there. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still kind of iffy on the second offensive tackle that we took um, in the seventh round, as well as our wide receiver. Um, I'm gonna have to see during training camp and preseason to see what they actually bring to the table. As well as I as much as I based on the film, it looks like we got that go getter type of corner.
Hmm.
Um, I still just don't know why we drafted a corner with our fifth round pick. So maybe it pays dividends right away, like Duran Bland did. Um, but we'll have to see. But as far as the first three picks that we got, I'm
Hmm.
actually okay with them.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And then with Zeke being back in the building, changing from 21 to 15, we'll see what that brings. Maybe that just lights a fire under Zeke.
Hey, Cowboy Lorian, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, very, very low.
Hmm. Is that any better? So better or no?
Yep, I got you. Perfect. Perfect.
A little bit of crunching on your end.
Could be because I was checking on mine and I was seeing, but then you went up and then low again. So
But yeah, the draft is gonna bring some crazy things. We'll see actually what goes on.
yeah, yeah.
So do you think Aaron Rodgers is gonna stay healthy, or what? How do you feel about what's actually gonna be going on with the Jets offense this year?
Well, I mean, I'm talking to other Jets fans and looking at what's going on at one Jet place, and they are really looking at him to keep him standing up. So I'm thinking that it's going to probably be a run first type thing. Let's run the ball, let's get settled in, and then try to pass as we go instead of just having him air it out from the beginning. And I think if they do that, it'll keep him healthy because they're going to depend. And I think that's why they drafted that big running back because they want a guy that they can, you know, go ahead and run between the tackles with, and then still have Brees Hall there as well. So I mean, I think it was a smart move, and I think that keeping Aaron Rodgers upright is where the Jets are going to go further. And if they don't keep him upright, we'll have another season like we did last season.
Yeah, as long as Aaron Rodgers kind of stays healthy for y'all, I think y'all can do some damage. But it's just a matter of you know your $50 million quarterback, not not damaging himself.
Exactly, exactly. Keeping him healthy, keeping him upright.
And then with y'all having 25 running backs on the roster now, we'll actually see if y'all run the ball.
Lorraine, are you still upset we drafted the guy you wanted?
Um, well, I mean, even so, y'all didn't really run the ball last year. I mean, how many times did Brees Hall complain about not getting the ball um,
Exactly.
when times mattered, or to help everything out?
But then again, I mean, and the truth is, they were trying to keep him healthy too, because had they lost Brees Hall, I mean, what else did they have? They had Garrett Wilson, but who's throwing the ball to him? Me, you, and the neighbors next door. I mean, there's nobody that can throw the ball. So I understand why Brees Hall was upset, but I also understand the meaning of trying to keep him healthy. And they needed to throw the ball a little bit to keep defenses off.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really protect your players too much. I mean, if you're playing to win the game, you can't worry about protecting them. That's why you have that next man up. And if you have a player calling for the ball and asking for the ball, give it to them.
No,
That
I mean,
that's what they're asking for. That's what they want. You
no, and
know,
I agree. But
I'd be more afraid of a player who didn't want the ball. That's a starter.
yeah, yeah, no, no, and I hear you, and I hear that, and I understand that. But having a guy like Zach Wilson there, man, it was just devastating. So I mean, that we'll see how it goes. I think this year it's gonna be a better year for everybody on that team. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
But you guys got your running back, who you didn't. I believe you didn't really want him to go, correct? You wanted him to stick around.
yeah. I didn't think we should have cut him, but
Yes.
the way the Jones do business, it's always about the money. They'll sign a player to a big contract, and a year or two later,
Mhm.
they'll release them and take a dead cap hit, and it just doesn't make sense when you have someone that is, a, te- w- it just amazes me how you have Steven Jones. He's been there since the salary cap was enacted in 1994.
Right,
How are you still terrible at it? You should be the goat of how to work the salary cap, especially when n- no one currently has been around since that long.
right, right, right. Mm.
Every GM, every other team seems to have figured out how to work the salary cap to get 70, 80, 90 million dollars in cap space every year, and we're always having to find ways to get under the cap, even with the cap raising. That's what's amazing is the cap will raise 20, 30, 40 million dollars, and we're still 20, 30, 40 million dollars above the cap.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of that has to do, Caballero, with the fact that they're always restructuring contracts. And what happens is that those contracts get restructured for this year, but then that cap hits next year. So I
Correct.
mean,
Yeah, that's part
yeah,
of that. Like I said, bad salary cap management. It's
yeah,
it's
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 really bad.
horrible on how they handle things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a bad situation. It's a bad situation because honestly speaking, as a Jet fan looking at the Cowboys, I don't think the Cowboys are that far away from actually competing for a Super Bowl. But if you guys are not making other moves to fill other holes that you guys really need to fill, it becomes a problem because now you're still stuck with the same team that didn't make it last year. So my question to you now, Capolari, is who are you going to pay first? Are you going to pay Micah or are you going to pay CD? Who do you think that the Cowboys should go ahead and actually hit first?
It's going to be CD because he's a year earlier than Micah.
Hmm.
I mean, in the perfect world, you sign both at the same time, so the price doesn't go up. But it seems the Jones always take the approach of, hey, let's wait till this player gets paid so we know exactly where to slot this player. It's like get the contract done now before the price keeps going higher and higher, higher on you.
Right, right.
I mean, you did that with Dak. You could have got him for what 30, $32 million a year, and then you waited a decade and a half. I'm exaggerating, but you waited a decade and a half to decide to sign him to a 4 year deal. Technically, it was a 6 year, but a 4 year deal at $40 million a year. So you just took $8 million a year, which basically what is $32 million that you could use on other players over that
Yeah,
4 year span.
yeah, yeah. No, no, it's true. It's bad. It's bad cap management, like you're talking about. That's what it is.
And I'm no mathematician. I'm no contract guru or anything like that. But you know, for a lot of these players, that want these big contracts and say, oh well, I've earned this, I've earned that. Well, if you're not living up to that contract, can I get some of that money back?
Exactly.
Can I fine you for not hitting your numbers? Because at the it seems like there needs to be some repercussions for these players, wanting all this big money and you know getting all this guaranteed money for that matter, and they don't produce after that contract. After they sign that contract, they
Right.
bust their tail, they bust their ass to get that big contract and get those millions. But as soon as it's signed, all right, I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank goodness. And I think that's where agents have actually ruined the game. Is they've gotten in these players' heads to say, let's get this big contract and then you're set. Let's raise the price, let's raise the price, let's raise the price. And all they're doing is getting their players, their clients cut 99% of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of these players are actually seeing the end of those contracts?
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. It's a bad situation. It is. But besides that, let's talk a little bit about I guess the Eagles. What do you think that? How do you think they're going to affect you guys? Because I know that the NFC East is tough regardless. So I mean, the Eagles are actually, in my opinion, I think it's the Eagles and then you guys. What do
On
you think?
paper, sure. If you
Sorry.
want to go on paper,
Yeah, no, I'm just yeah on paper. On paper is what I'm going with. Um, yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I would say the Eagles probably had a better draft than us. They got some players that we probably should have gone after.
Hmm.
But again, I'm not in the war room. I'm not listening to what these scouts are saying. You know, I can only go off of the information that I have available.
Right.
So I'm not seeing certain things that these scouts and stuff like that get to see and write their evaluations. But at the same time, I have to say I don't trust scouts.
Hmm.
And the only reason why I don't trust scouts is, you know, I mean, you can call Mel Kiper, you can call, all these other, analysts, kind of a scout because they do all this research, they do all this, you know, um, information on these players so that way they know exactly, on all these players.
Hmm.
But how many times has it been, oh, this player is just a developmental player, or this player is not going to be really anything, this player is going to really have a hard time in the NFL, and then there's this other player who had one good year, while this other player played all 4 years. This other player who had one good year at a major college. Let's just go USC because USC seems to always have these, 1 year miracle players.
Hmm.
They, this player, is a surefire, bona fide first round draft pick. He should go in the first 10 picks, and he's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yet that other
Sort of.
player they said was a developmental started from day one and dominated. These other players that are supposedly 100 times better than he is, and it's the same position, and it like I mean, look at Tyreek Hill. There was more knocks on him. The only good thing that they said about him is his speed, and look where he's at. What was he, a fifth or sixth round pick?
Yeah. Exactly. With all world speed.
I mean, George Kittle. George Kittle's another one, fifth round pick of the Niners. I mean, they said he was nothing, and then all of a sudden he had that one breakout game for 200 some yards. I forgot which game it was. And I thought it was kind of impressive for a tight end.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but he look at him now.
Yeah. No.
I
Sure.
mean, I think, and then you look at a Jason Kelsey or Travis Kelsey. They weren't top picks.
Yeah. They actually came out of nowhere, to be honest with
Some of the better players in the league are undrafted free agents or fourth, fifth, sixth round picks, sometimes even seventh round picks. And it's because these scouts overlook players so often because they're looking for certain intangibles that don't matter anymore.
you. Yeah. Yeah. And
Like
that's what
it
it is.
got
And
to
it's
the
also,
point where it was all about speed. Oh, if you have speed, you're the you're the best player that is out there. It doesn't matter about anything else. It's all about speed. Well, guess
yeah.
what? Yes, speed kills, but guess what? Skill's more deadly. Now, if the person has skill and speed, like a Deion Sanders, as an example, now that's just a super deadly combination. Number one, but number two, that is what a player's supposed to be. It's not one or the other. It shouldn't be one or the other, but it is 90% of the time. You know, speed is, yes, it's great to have, but it doesn't make a player because, as an example, a receiver, if that receiver can't get off the line against someone who has more skill than that person, and that person might run a 4.6, the wide receiver runs a 4.2. Guess what? 4.2 ain't going nowhere if he can't get past that line of scrimmage.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. For sure. No. No. It's very. It's two plus two. It's always, I'm saying, it's easy math to really look at. You can have all the speed in the world, but if you can't get up the line of scrimmage, your speed goes for nothing. So, yeah. And I
I
mean, if
mean,
you look at the
what's your
Kansas
take
City,
on scouts and just some of the play? I mean, I would think you're more of a cynic, based on the players that the Jets have drafted over the years. You're probably been wondering like, what the hell did this GM, these scouts seeing these players that is not showing on the field. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, as of late, the
I mean,
Jets
what's
have
been your
been.
take on some of these players that have gone drafted?
Say that again.
I said, what's been your take on some of the players that like you've seen get drafted? Like
Well, I mean,
even just with the Jets alone.
yeah, and I mean, I can actually speak for my Jets, and the truth is that throughout these years that they have brought in people that are more knowledgeable than I guess the owner, because a lot of owners want to be involved. A lot of owners want to be like Jerry Jones, and I think that Jerry Jones is he knows talent. He sees it. And I think that that's why the Cowboys pick well in most drafts. And now with the Jets, I see that the Jets are picking players, and you can see what's coming of it. Like Joe Douglas has actually picked very well for the Jets to hit on 4 first round picks to hit on all four. All four guys are starters. All four guys are studs. You don't see that too often. You don't. You'd be lucky if you hit on one of them, let alone all four of them. So you can see that these guys that know football, the GM that knows football, the scouting that knows what they're looking for, can put a team together. Then you have those scouts that don't do well with that, and they lose traction when it comes to it. I think I lost you, probably, Lauren. Are you still there? Oh, there you go. You came back up. So, I mean, I look at the Jets draft, and I'm
Oh,
hoping that this draft class is as good as the
we
last
lost
one.
Jet.
You there? You good?
Yep, there we go. We got you back.
Okay. You lost me?
Yeah, it looks like we had a little bit of a network glitch.
Yeah, yeah. So what I was saying was that I think that the Jets draft classes have been good. When you have people that know what they're picking and what they're looking for us to hit on four first round picks, you're lucky if you hit on one. So for us to be able to hit on four first round picks, there are certain scouts that know what they're doing, and then there's certain scouts that don't. So
I mean, have you seen more of your late round picks hit more often than your first rounds, or do you think it's just kind of a a bag of mixed goods, most of the time with the draft?
I think it's a bag of mixed goods. It depends on the player. It depends on. Um, I haven't seen too many late round picks that the Jets picked become that stud that was like, oh my God, how did we miss that guy? How did he not make it into the first, second round? So I mean, there's certain players that are just role players that do well in that position instead of being like key contributors like those first round picks. So in my opinion, my team, I haven't seen that. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've seen any guys like that on your team.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen more of I mean, our first round picks, majority have actually hit. I haven't really seen too many um, faulty ones. I mean, I would say, even though he did well for us, I've really only seen two really bad first round picks. One was Bobby Carpenter, which was like Bill Parcells' first draft, and
Mm-hmm.
then the second, and like I said, he did really well. Bobby Carpenter was just the worst first round draft pick ever. And then one that that I would say he panned out, but at the same time what I don't know, I wouldn't have taken him as a first round pick, and that'd be Van Der Esch.
Van Der Esch, the
He did
linebacker.
well with the time with us. He was just he came in with injury problems and just had injury problems throughout his career. So you know, I I just I would say he if he was a later round pick, it wouldn't have been as bad. But being he was a first round draft pick, I think that's the biggest knock there is that he was a first round draft pick, and you know
Right.
if he would have been able to be healthy, I think there would have been it would have been a different conversation.
Right.
He was able to stay healthy that rookie year, and then he did really good, and then all of a sudden the injuries caught up every single year thereafter. So I really would have to say those are probably the two bad first round draft picks that I've seen really
Mhm.
Jerry like miss on. Um, Another one I would say was, even though he had a Hall of Fame career with the Jacksonville Jaguars, he just did not make it with the Cowboys. Was Jimmy Smith?
Who did you say? I'm sorry, you broke up.
Jimmy Smith.
Oh, Jimmy Smith, the wide receiver.
Yep, he was drafted first round by the Cowboys, and Troy Aikman. He just didn't do well with Troy, and they let him go after like I think 2 years,
Hmm.
and he went on to be with the Jaguars.
And actually, he did well. He didn't do too bad with the Jaguars.
For the Jaguars, yeah, like I said, he had a Hall of Fame career with the Jaguars, but as a
Right.
first round pick for the Cowboys, to only last 2 years, I mean, I would say it's a bust as far as the Cowboys are concerned. As far as the Jaguars, they got to steal.
Right. Right.
I haven't had too many people actually nobody actually comment. I guess everybody's watching the playoffs tonight.
That's probably what it is, man. That's probably what it is. They are playoff games going on. So
Everyone's in the basketball fever or baseball fever, I guess, or hockey.
yeah, yeah. I'm football 24/7, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can watch some playoffs, but I just can't do the 7 games. It's just like ah.
Hmm.
Like,
Hold on one second. I'm
I
trying
think
to.
what I used to like about the NBA back in the '90s was the fact that it was the first round or so was 3 games, best of three. Like the first two series was best of three.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm doing something over here. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Cavalorian.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're coming in and out. I don't know if it's me, but
So the schedule actually comes out on Thursday. Excited? Find out what games are when.
I could barely hear you.
Are you excited about
Wait.
the schedule release?
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it because I want to see what we're going to do this year because I think we got Jacksonville. And remember, I'm in Miami, so thinking about doing that game if it's here in the state. Because there's also rumors that they may be moving that game to England. So, but I am looking forward to it. I may do 3 games this year. I may go to the one in Jacksonville, the one in Miami, and then the one back home in New York. So I'm waiting to. I can't wait to see what comes out of the schedule. What about you? You looking forward to it?
Always. I actually want to see, when some of these games are actually going to happen. So
Mm.
let's see. You got yep, this is the Jets. So you got, the Broncos, the Texans, the Colts, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Jags, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Niners, the Titans, and the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule, man. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah, it looks like you got a really rough go in there for this season.
Yeah, you got to really check something on your end, man, because I can't hear you.
I said you got a really tough slate of teams.
Mm.
Can you hear me now?
You're coming in and out. It's like something is blocking your mic. I've checked on my end, and everything's up. Everything's good.
Yeah, I mean everything's showing full go on my end.
Mm. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that.
Here, let's take a look here. Share the screen here. You know, is there a specific team that you're actually looking forward to?
I mean, I'm looking at the home schedule, the home games. I'm hoping to maybe make either the Dolphin game up in New York or maybe the Bills game. So I'm hoping that those are part of the ones when I take my travel up to New York will be there. So, but I think we got the Texans as well, probably, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, right up here.
Yeah, so that'd be a good game to watch too.
Not going to go up to Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be because it was supposed to be one of the games that the Jets are going to play in London, and they were saying that the rumor was that it was going to be the Jacksonville game.
I mean, it's just a hop, skip, and the jump to Tennessee too.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But I mean, I know that the the Jets Facebook team that I'm a part of, we have a bus, so they're talking about busing it up to Jacksonville, um, and then that'll be that. It'll be easier instead of everybody just driving up. We're trying to see when we see what the schedule looks like. If it is indeed going to be in Jacksonville or is it going to be in London? Are you doing
Yeah, we
any
got
away
a pretty tough sledding ourselves. We got Baltimore, got Cincinnati,
games?
Atlanta, Cleveland should be pretty tough. Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Detroit, Houston. Shout
Yes.
out to the our New Orleans Saint buddy, Saint Laurent. We'll actually just blow them out. I'm not too worried. Um, um, we got our Tampa Bay buddy. That should be a good one.
Mm,
And then of course, we always got our divisions. So I'm kind of looking at trying to get to the Atlanta game. Um, I would like to go to Pittsburgh, just depending on what time of year. And then there's a bunch of us super fans who want to try and go to the Philly game in
okay,
Lincoln Financial. So
you have got into do an away game.
yeah,
Okay, good, good.
not doing San Francisco again.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it should be good. Should be fun.
So we'll see what goes on.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game, and it's going to be crazy depending on the time of year you go down to Philly if you're going to get down there.
You know, yeah. I mean, all the home games will be fun. You know, we'll see what kind of happens as the season goes on. You know, all the home games should be pretty interesting, especially with like Baltimore and a few of these other teams coming in into Dallas. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I do want to
yeah.
send a shout out to the mad scientist. Thank you for the Grogu Mando helmet. Really appreciate
That's
it.
fine. Yes. I got to send a shout out as well. As you guys can see, I got the Jet 2.0 finally completed. So
I'm surprised you didn't ask for a black visor, so we don't get the reflection.
I thought about it, but I was like, nah, just leave the same visor. I like that visor. I like that gold look.
You always get the mirror visor. It's like where's my pizza?
Yeah, no, he was sending me pictures of your Grogu Jet helmet. I'm sorry, the Grogu Cowboy helmet.
Yeah,
Um, so I was like, oh, that looks nice. I like it.
yeah. I gotta do the other one for the other cowboy Lorian. It's gonna be a lot bigger.
Mm, mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
now it's gonna have a different look than this one.
Really
Oh yeah,
nice,
it's
nice.
gonna be it's gonna be similar to a concept helmet. So we'll see how that goes. It's gonna be similar to this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Um, yeah, I guess that's gonna be the closest to it. See if I can get pop up. All right. So it'll be similar to this one here,
Okay.
or this one
You're
rather.
talking about the blue, that blue one.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So a little different, little different. Stand out, get a little attention.
Mm, okay. Yeah, that's gonna look good. It's gonna look nice.
So we'll see how it turns out. Got a little bit of work to do on it, so we'll see.
You already started on it or not yet?
A lot of sanding,
Okay. You're in the sounding stage. Okay.
sanding.
Okay.
I got to get to the next phase. I think I've already finished with the sanding. I just got to kind of clean off the shavings and stuff like that, and then um, I'll put this primer stuff um
Mhm.
for it, and then I'll start on the paint.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully it only requires one coat of the primer. That'll make things a lot easier for me.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Mm.
So we'll see. We'll see how it
Yeah.
comes out by the season. I'm not in a huge rush to get it done, so I got time. I got 4 months.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, and you're gonna take your Grogu Cowboy with the helmet, obviously, right, to the games. That
Yeah.
should be good.
Mm-hmm.
That should be good. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that, like that. The what was it that bag that you had, recommended me. I'm thinking about doing that this year, taking my Grogu Jet with me.
Yeah. Make sure. I would just carry all your Mando stuff in a carry-on bag. I'll just tell you that. Makes it easier on
Right.
you.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. Right, you mean to like to go through security and stuff, right?
Well, I mean, not just. I mean, just because it's safer, because you don't have to worry
Right,
about your stuff getting damaged.
right, right, right.
Because the first time I actually went on a road trip to San Francisco, I put all my stuff in my suitcase. Yeah, my old helmet didn't exactly like the cold and being squished with the rest of my stuff.
Yeah, no,
So
for sure. Yeah, no, no. I was thinking, I thought about that as well. Was making sure that the helmet, my gauntlets, my shoulder pads, all that stuff that has to be carried on.
yeah, I this last road trip to San Francisco, I just put everything in a small size duffel bag and was able to put everything that mattered in there.
Mhm.
Like my jerseys and the rest of my gear I was able to put in my suitcase. So I wasn't too worried about that. But it was more
Right,
like the stuff that is breakable.
right.
So I
Hey,
made
and
sure and throw that stuff in a duffel
what
bag
kind
and
of,
just use that as my carry on.
yeah, and what kind of comments did you get at the airport when you were putting them through security? What they tell you?
Nothing. They really
Yeah.
didn't. They really didn't say nothing.
Okay, okay,
I mean,
okay.
if you have, I have lights in my helmet. I know your new one has lights a little bit. Just make sure your
Mhm.
batteries are out of it. Um,
Yeah, no, for sure.
and you're really good otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and I always carry an extra pair of batteries. That's what the mad scientist told me. Always have an extra pair of batteries. You never know. I'm like, no, for sure.
Well, the best thing is the best. My best advice is buy some rechargeable ones. That way you're not throwing batteries away. Just buy some rechargeable ones and be like, all right, these are charged. Let me recharge these ones. Put these ones in. All right, got those recharged. All right.
Exactly. No, no, for sure. And that's actually what he did. He put some rechargeable battery packs inside my stuff. So that'll work.
I actually asked the mad scientist. I was like, with the wideness of your helmet, I was like, I
Mm.
figured he put some fans in there or a mic for you, so that way you could talk to the fans when
Well,
you're out at games and stuff or at
I just I turned the
your watch
camera
parties. You're like,
sideways.
that's something I could do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I turned the camera sideways was because I needed to reach to the fan. I put on the fan right now, so my fan is going. So it feels good. It feels really good. Okay.
Now you just got to get that the voice amplifier so you can have that mic.
Yeah, no, I have it already. I gotta see how I'm gonna run it because I'm gonna end up running it down my shirt. I guess
Yeah,
once we get, you know what I'm saying. So
I
I
mean you
gotta
can
see.
always get the wireless one. I just don't know how well it works.
Yeah, no, I got the one that's all wired up and connected. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not sure if that wireless one will work the way we want it to work. So
yeah. I tried this some wireless a wireless thing and it didn't work out. I was really hoping it would. It just made things a little bit easier.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you know, and Sneaky has been asking about. Can you get me a Giants one? I'm like, man. I said I'll ask him. I said there's no guarantees. So Sneaky wants a giant mad sign.
$1 million and sure, no problem.
I told him, I said, if I was the one making it, sure, why not? I said, but I'm not the one making it. I said, not only that, I don't know if you're aware, but Alex's daughter is Alex, the mad scientist. His daughter is actually getting married, so he finished my helmet quick because he's got this whole thing with the wedding coming
Yeah,
up.
he did both of ours pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
he
even
said
told
he
him I was
wants.
like, take your time. I'm like, I'm not in a huge rush. Season's still a while away, so if you
Yeah,
get it done in June or July, it's not a big deal.
yeah, that's what I told him too. But he's such a good dude, man. He's a really good dude. So I'm actually hoping that the next time you guys play the AFC East, hopefully you would come down to Miami. I'll even go with you to the game, give you some moral support, and you
Well, I
can
mean,
actually meet the mad
we
scientist.
don't always necessarily have to play the AFC East because there's always those 2-3 games where we play someone from another division, just depending on where they finished
Hmm.
in the in the rankings, rather not the rankings, but their how they finished in their division. So
Yeah, yeah,
because ones always play the ones, twos always play the twos.
Yep. Yep.
I think that's jacked up. I think if you win your division, you should just play the fours.
I agree. I agree.
Just keep it the playoff format. If you finish at the top of your division, you get a little bit of time off. If you finish at the bottom, you should have the hardest time.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you need some competition, and you know the and that's the funny thing that they always make fun of the Cowboys on, especially last year. And it's funny because the Eagles went through the same thing the year prior when they went to the Super Bowl. Is they finished at the top of the division, or they finished second in the division that the year prior to the Cowboys. And what happened? They got a little bit of an easier schedule. It just so happens that a lot of those teams just went to hell that one year, and they were terrible. And but they got complimented for beating those teams, even though they barely beat those teams. They were getting complimented. Oh, did you see the way the Eagles played? But yet the Cowboys had a similar situation where they finished second. They got a second place schedule, but at the same time, a lot of those teams were just garbage this year. It's not the Cowboys' fault, but we weren't just beating a lot of those teams. We were crushing them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were putting 40 points on them.
I mean, that's what you crushed us, and then we went ahead and we beat the Eagles. So it's
Yeah.
like,
So,
we
but yet,
integrated the team.
it was the Cowboys would be everyone would say the Cowboys were, oh well, they're beating a terrible team. It's like they weren't a terrible team last year.
Yeah.
They finished second in their division last year. Is it our fault that they went to hell this year? No. We can only play who's on our schedule.
Teams that you're scheduled to play now. That's really what it is. That's what it comes down to. So,
Nancy, thank you for hopping on. Yay, we got our first comment
thanks.
after 50 minutes later. And Nancy, I don't know if you saw my comment, but your shirt is on its way. I apologize for it taking so long for me to get it to you. Let's just say I've been lazy.
We'll keep it straight up and honest.
Not gonna lie, I was being lazy and just trying to get. And the post office is literally like 5 minutes down the road, and I was just like, all right, I need to get to the post office. And I look at the clock. Ah, it's 5 o'clock. Crap! But it is on its way. It should be there Thursday. I don't know why it takes 2 days when it's in the same city. That doesn't make sense to me. Thank you for the support, Nancy. Really appreciate it. You're one of our biggest supporters on this podcast. I have to say that.
Definitely,
Also,
definitely.
get well soon. I know you had surgery, so hopefully you feel better.
Sending you positive motivations and all that other good stuff. Get well. But yeah, man. So did you end up watching the whole thing with Tom Brady, that bash thing that they did on him?
I don't have Netflix. I
Um,
stopped using Netflix once they went to that. If you're not on the home network, you can't use it anymore because my mom was just like, use mine. So I was always using hers, and then I lost access, so I stopped using it.
okay.
Um, but just the little small little things I caught and watched on whether it was YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Some of it was pretty funny at the way they went after Tom, and
They went at him.
Tom was. You can tell Tom was like, "What did I agree to? Like, why in the hell did I do this?" Like, because he got
Yeah,
mad
they
at
went
Jeff
they went
Ross
at him
for
hard. They went.
talking about Kraft wanting a massage, and I cracked up. I was,
It was funny. I had a blast watching it. But he
and the
came
fact
out
they
he
made it
came out with a
Gronk
good one where
being
he
dumb,
killed
that was kind of funny.
yeah. But did you see when he killed Bill's Mafia? Tom Brady
Yeah.
said,
Mm-hmm.
Bill's
At
Mafia,
least,
like
at least the
like
mafia has
what
a
the
ring
heck
to
is
kiss.
that? At least
I was like,
Andre has a
damn, that's
ring to
low.
the
That's
kiss, and I was
low.
like, ooh, that was low. He hit him hard.
Because the Patriots didn't have a ring until you came along either. There, Tommy, Tommy boy.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if they didn't make
And
rules to protect your ass, you wouldn't have 7 rings.
facts.
You probably wouldn't have lasted freaking 4 years if they would have
Yeah.
allowed quarterbacks to be hit the way they used to be hit.
Guys would breathe on him, and he would complain to the refs, like, "Oh, look, he's breathing on me."
Hey, your boy does that too. Don't. Let's not go there. Your boy does that way more.
Listen, quarterbacks got soft. I'm not even gonna argue that point. Quarterbacks,
But that's the thing is Aaron Rodgers was in that era where they used to hit quarterbacks, and
they're soft, man.
he he's one of he's a baby. You
They're
jump
soft.
over him and he's calling for a flag.
But it's the league's fault for allowing it. You know what I'm saying? It's the league's fault. It's and you know who does it too? This dude in KC does it all the time too.
Well,
It's
because
the league.
they well when you allow them to get away with it, they're gonna
They're gonna keep
do
doing
the
it.
like it's like same thing with basketball. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, everyone even says like, if the players from the '90s were playing in today's league, oh my god,
they would get suspended. They wouldn't be allowed to play.
they be getting charged for murder.
Yep.
Michael Jordan be averaging 75 a game.
Yeah. No, for sure. It would be a problem.
And I think that'd be, in all honesty, that '96 Bulls team, if that team was playing now, I think they'd be the only team ever to go undefeated in an NBA season.
Yeah. Who are you talking about? The Bulls?
The '96 Bulls,
Yeah.
the 72 and 10 team.
Yeah. That was a crazy team. That was a crazy
I
team.
don't think they would have lost those 10 games today. In today's game, I don't think they would have lost those 10 games. In all honesty,
I doubt it. I doubt it. They beat everybody.
if they lost the game, I think it was just because they decided we're taking
To take
tonight
a
off.
break. Yeah. Yeah. This game doesn't really matter. We can just take the night off. Yeah. No, for sure. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I hated the Bulls, but I had so much love for Michael Jordan because that's one of my favorite players ever.
That's actually the last time I actually liked the team. I liked the Bulls from, I would say, 80, when I could actually watch basketball and understand it. 88 to 98, I was always a Bulls fan. Even when Jordan left, I was still a Bulls fan. And then once he finally left again, and everyone was gone from the team, like they got rid of Pippen, they got rid of Jordan, they got rid of Phil Jackson, they got rid of Luke Longley, they got rid of Kukoc. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm done. Like, I can't watch these teams anymore. And, I just started kind of rooting for, specific players from then on. Like, I didn't, I don't think I started watching basketball again until, um, really LeBron came back. Really LeBron and Melo.
Mm.
Those were actually my first two jerseys I actually ever bought for basketball. And then I started getting some other jerseys, like, finally got a Jordan jersey. I got a McGrady, got a, you know, Dirk.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't really. I had Ewing, Carmelo Anthony. I had a Michael Jordan, but that was it. That was like I'm not. Oh no, I had Starks. I lied. I had John Starks. But then after that, I was done. I said, nah, I'm not getting no more jerseys.
Oh yeah, D
That's
Wade was one of my players too.
mm, yeah, yeah. No, I respected D Wade. D Wade was a good player, but I don't know. I don't know. I just can't wait for football season to just get started, because baseball is so damn long, and I can't watch 160 plus games of baseball.
You know. Well, next week we're gonna have to get some guests on. You know,
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have to.
You
I
know,
mean,
so
it,
we can have some more conversation when our fan bases don't decide to show up. Except for you,
yeah,
Nancy. Except for you. You
yeah,
showed up for us.
yeah, no, yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard. It's NBA play. It's the playoffs, man. So you got people watching, like you said. So
But what would you say about a new setup? How do you think it is?
I like it. I like it. I think it's a good setup. I like the way it looks. It's pleasing to the eye, and it's pretty cool, man. It was a good thing that you did that. It looks good.
Yep. Now we just gotta see how it's gonna be with multiple guests, and we'll go from there. So far so good though. I would say
Yeah,
there's a lot more stuff to this platform that we can do, and add on. As you kind of saw, I was able to just like share a screen pretty easily to the podcast and do some advertising. So you know, so we can do some things.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Um, send me this so that I can also post it, so we can get more people onto.
All right,
I like it.
sounds good. Well, I
Yeah,
think we'll end that for tonight. That way we can get let the basketball users get back to their games.
absolutely, absolutely.
But thank y'all for those who had joined us, and we'll see y'all next week every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Once again, I'm Cowboy Lorian,
And the Jettalorian, and we
and this
say
is the way.
this is the way. Peace.
Have a good night.